And welcome back, everybody, to the MOSEF Fall Brawl Finals. I'm still Tucker Haynes, and I'm joined by Michael. It has been a long, long day. 2 teams remain, and we are officially going to get a match on broadcast.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Tucker, definitely a long day. Had some issues on the Blizzard side of things, but we are finally ready to go here, just waiting on the final confirmation that the teams are ready here. So we are looking at the finals of the MOSEF Fall Brawl Overwatch Community Finals between Vianney High School, St. John Vianney High School, and Blue Springs South High School. Both teams, very, very good showings today, and it looks like we are ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that first match. So our matches today are, our first map today is actually going to be Busan. So our map pool is as follows, starting with Busan on that control. We are going to do a return to Blizzard World and then Route 66, and that's if we're done in 3. But we are ready to go and jumping into in-game.
I think it is definitely worth mentioning, St. John Vianney has not lost a single game today. Not a single map. They have steamrolled their way through the entire bracket. They have got 3-0 after 3-0. They look to do it a third time. Blue Springs South have only lost 1 map, which is still very solid stuff, but St. John Vianney has been playing on a different level, and Blue Springs somehow need to surpass that.
Yeah, we haven't seen Vianney on this screen yet. We haven't seen them on the Twitch stream. So Tucker and myself haven't actually watched any of their games, but we have heard about them. We were here to see the Blue Springs South games, and we saw them very dominant in their games. Like Tucker said, only dropping 1 map to Wellington Napoleon after a well hard-fought thing there. So jumping in, we are on the Vianney side right now, watching Pilot Seeker on May here, and seeing what they're going to do. Looks like both teams rotating to the outside here of the map. So going to see who can get a key early pick here on this first team fight.
St. John Vianney's tank of choice is that Zarya, who we've seen a time or 2 throughout the day. But the Junker Queen has been a very notable part in the Blue Springs composition that get things started off. Its life motive absolutely popping off. They're going to win that first fight, and Speedy Penguin kills himself to get that reset going through. Blue Springs South is going to win the first fight, and they're going to get that tick started up.
Yeah, no surprise here. Seeing the comp coming out from Blue Springs South, probably what we could have expected from them on control. With Leitmotif on that Junker Queen and the rest of the team filling out behind him. Usually we see them on the Genji here. Kind of surprised that they're not on that. Might see it in one of the other Busan points, but they are definitely very dominant and confident with that, with Leitmotif on that Junker Queen, and they like this comp.
A lot of damage done to Speedy Penguin, or a lot of damage done from Speedy Penguin, rather. As in comes the retake. Blue Springs South holding off as best as they can. But Vianney is starting to pop through. The window comes out from Kriana, grabs a kill onto the Zarya Elfif, with Nabi getting another one to boot. The DPS starting to fall off from St. John Vianney. And they are on the verge of getting this control point out of the realm.
Yep, so up to 50% on Blue Springs side here. Vianney needs to change something up. Not sure if they just need to switch on their comp or come at this with a different approach. We do see some ultimates online. Sage Dog coming in with the BAP window, but Leitmotif has their Rampage coming on, and Pilot Seeker on the side of Vianney, almost up to Blizzard. But Pilot Seeker actually goes down, not going to get that Blizzard in this fight, so not sure what they're going to do. Rampage comes through from Leitmotif in the late fight here. Yeah, no way that Vianney's going to follow through with this fight.
It's already 75% for Blue Springs North as well. They have the overclock and the Deadeye available if they choose to use it. We can't also forget, Michael, that the sonic boom, or the sound barrier, rather, it's very similar. It's a beat. It's very loud. And it gets you hyped up. That's the Lucio ult. It's available now. Just had to wait for those last couple of percentage. But enough ultimate talk aside, let's get back on the scoreboard. Blue Springs South are already 95 of the way complete, and St. John Vianney does not have a single percentage.
Yeah, we did see Pilot Seeker jump on just to make sure that Blue Springs didn't tick over to 100. It is in overtime now. They're at that 99% mark. St. John obviously just needs to make sure they keep jumping on and keeping it from ticking over past that overtime. Looks like they are able to take the point here and actually finish flipping it over to their own side. They're going to clean up the last of those kills.
One more escapee wants to get away. I think they are going to. And Vianney will start their count up now. They have the Zarya ultimate available. But Blue Springs South, they have so much resource that they can use. They're going to have that window in just a couple of seconds. The Deadeye and Overclock are still active. Blue Springs South, they let Vianney have that. They didn't want to use too much of their abilities, and they didn't want to use too much of their utility. So they know that they have a lot of time to work with, so they let that go. That is the least of their worries because they still have a lot of resources to use. St. John Vianney starting to get things going a little bit better. Unfortunately, Leitmotif not able to get anything done. Nabi's the only one on Vianney to get that frag. Or Nabi is the only one able to get taken down, I guess.
Yeah, so Vianney, a very strong team fight there. Blue Springs coming in at a better position once again with a little bit more ult economy. Pilot Seeker, the only one going to have an ult up for this next fight here on the side of Vianney, and no one else is very close, whereas Blue Springs South is coming in with 2 with the Junker Queens nearby, but Hill Lewis dropped early. Once again, Vianney gets an early pick in this fight, and it might be another reset for Blue Springs South. So Vianney seems to have figured out this playstyle and is not going to let Blue Springs South come back.
You cannot take these early frags like that. The picks from St. John Vianney have been so crucial. And to lose your Sojourn first is not necessarily the end of it, but you really want to keep your Sojourn alive as long as possible. She's such a good DPS that you do not want to lose her
Hill Lewis
first.
showing how good of a DPS they are.
Here
3 with the ultimate.
Overclock.
But Pilot Seeker returns with 1 on Creon. Hill Lewis, though, finishing off Zarya without her ultimate, and they are going to be able to flip it here, and looks like that is going to go in favor of Blue Springs South for Busan .1.
First time that we've seen St. John Vianney on the broadcast, and they have had a notorietable reputation of winning everything in sight, but this time not quite. Blue Springs gonna catch them off guard. They take .1. It started off 99-0. St. John Vianney were able to bring it back a little bit, but in the end, it was the resilience of Blue Springs.
Yeah, no surprise here. Looks like Blue Springs is going to stay on that same comp and not switch anything up. We see Vianney doing the same thing, keeping Apex on the Zenyatta, which we haven't seen a lot of. Oh, I lied. Blue Springs switching it up at the last second. Nope, they debated me. They're not switching at all. But Apex staying on the Zenyatta, which we haven't seen much of today, but that Discord Orb just really, really crucial. Although I'm not sure on the Blue Springs side that anything necessarily warrants it. There's nothing that's too tanky on their side that they need to worry about. I think it's an interesting pick here, and I might personally want a little more healing out of my healer than the Zenyatta can provide.
The Bastion was a really good pick earlier on in the day from Hill Lewis. We need to see if that robot can do it one more time. Vianney and Blue Springs started to get things fought off. It's a really nice immortality feel, but it's immediately taken down. The knife of the Junker is good enough to get the job done. VHS has a kill. It's L5 on the Zarya. Eventually they get taken down. The Junker Queen is simply too good. Apex has to run away. They cannot retreat. Blue Springs South gonna get this point first yet again.
Yeah, very back and forth there in that fight. We saw a lot of picks going both ways there, but Blue Springs South just ended up on top, had more to work with on their team than Vianney did. So great job from them, and we're going to see how well they push through this to keep the point running in their favor.
Tick starts.
Hill Lewis switching to the Bastion here and just trying to mow down some of Blue Springs South. Oh, excuse me, some of Vianney. And looks like it's working for him. Able to take out that Zenyatta. So only 1 healer on the Vianney side. And they're going to push in through this Blue Springs South and take advantage of the fact that Vianney only has a little bit of healing. So
no chance for L5 to get away from that one. Hill Lewis going to hunt them down every day of the week. And yet again, it's Blue Springs South already nearing 50%. And 2 ultimates at the ready with a 3rd coming really, really shortly. That Deadeye could be the make or break moment that Blue Springs South needs to win out this first map and give Vianney their first L of the day.
Yeah, Vianney coming in with a couple ults here. They go ahead and throw the Blizzard down and use their BAP window. Able to get Leitmotif out, which is a big pick for the Blue Springs South team. Unfortunate to not have their tank there. Great shot from Elfie there, or L5, excuse me. Well done there from them.
Spot gets flipped over.
Oh, no. Vianney has fat-fingered a grab out of Zarya there, and they are not going to have that available for that fight. I wonder if Blue Springs heard it, or if they're going to worry that they're going to have the grab. But either way, not good from Vianney there. A very bad misplay.
2 tank ultimates missed, but unfortunately for Vianney, Leitmotif is still in a very good spot. Zenyatta has their ult popped, but they're just going to get hunted down. As soon as that immortality's done, they are going to get killed. That's exactly what happens. It's only the Mei that's on the site, but even they cannot stay there forever. Nabi has an easy kill. Pilot Seeker is no more, and St. John Vianney have to do it all again.
Yeah, those tank ults matter a lot, and when we accidentally throw the Zarya ult like that, it's a big difference for that team. So we saw Leitmotif just able to come in with their ult and use it effectively, and how big of a difference that made. So the Bastion ult coming out from Blue Springs South here. His team able to clean up from it, and looks like another handy win there from Blue Springs South in that fight.
Seems like it. Only 10%. Vianney is going to have to immediately sprint to that control point. Even then, I'm not sure if they're going to make it. Only 5%. They might have a shortcut. It's got to be the Lucio. Sage Doug gets taken down. Lucio needs to do something, but they're not going to get there in time.
So
Blue Springs South are going to give Vianney their first L of the day. They start the grand finals off in a major way.
Yeah, definitely a couple of big misplays there from Vianney. Not only that Zarya, but also Speedy Penguin there at the end should have been the one touching the point, but instead they went to attack on the high ground when they were the only ones that could have made it and touched. So a shame to see those misplays there and how it cost them that last match. So we'll see how this plays out. So moving on to our next match, our hybrid, which is has always been a point of contention here. We've seen a lot of different plays on this second map pool. So our hybrid map for this match is Blizzard World again. So return to Blizzard World, which we've had some really good matches on today. Excited to see that getting run back. So interesting. We saw Vianney, or excuse me, not Vianney, Blue Springs South, very dominant on Blizzard World. So we're going to see if they can keep that up and keep that title of a king of the hill on Blizzard map, or Blizzard World.
Yeah. They have been playing incredibly throughout the entire day. Blizzard World has been their bread and butter. We've been saying it throughout the whole broadcast. Blizzard World on hybrid, that's going to be where they are the best at. And honestly, we can talk about compilations, or compositions rather, but I don't think they need to change anything at all. The Junker Queen has been working so good. The Bastion and Genji combo from Hill Lewis has been absolutely incredible. The Lucio and Baptiste support combo has been absolute money.
Yeah, so I imagine when on defense here that we will see definitely we will see Blue Springs pulling out that poke comp that we have seen them very good at as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Vianney, knowing somehow Blue Springs has played throughout the day, is going to go into that and counter that. So looks like as of right now, we are going to start with Blue Springs on attack first. So they are not going to pull out that poke for defense yet. We're gonna see what they're gonna do for attack. I believe in the past that they've kind of run a pseudo brawl. I could be wrong. I think that's what they were doing. We'll see in just a few moments here as we wait for both teams to be ready. So looks like we are gonna jump into the map and start map 2 of the finals match here on Blizzard World.
Yeah, I remember that Blue Springs South, they had a very awkward composition when it came to it. I know how they had the Reinhardt, but at the same time, they also had those pokey characters, like they had the Cassidy. I believe they had a couple of longer range characters as well. They still had the Sojourn as the secondary DPS, which is a very good pick in itself. But I personally would rather see them fully commit, rather than go half and half into the pseudo brawl or the pseudo poke. I would rather them either commit to the brawl or commit to the poke, because I feel like Vianney's going to have a really nice time when they're kind of cockeyed timid like that.
Yeah, I think we did see earlier a decent counter to Blue Springs poke with some dive coming out from the last match that we saw them in. We saw them take some hits on dive, so I think that would be Vianney's answer here is running some dive into that poke that they're going to have on the high ground and see how well they play against that. So we'll see how it goes, and as the match gets started here and the teams start picking their heroes.
So Blue Springs South get a couple of newer picks coming out. The Genji is good for Hill Lewis. It's been good the entire day. Blue Springs South has the Winston, which, yet again, it's another pseudo dive comp. Rather than pushing up with that, or a pseudo poke, pseudo dive pause. Sorry, we're gonna take a quick pause and talk about the composition a little bit more. So we have MOSEF on the Winston, who has been a really awkward pick throughout the entire broadcast. Leitmotif has been incredibly hit or miss when it comes to the Big Monkey. The Cassidy pick is a little bit more of a pokey character, which I do like to see, but it's another one of those pseudo this, pseudo that. It's a mix between the poke and dive comp, which I just really don't like. I feel like there has to be some commitment to a composition, whether it's dive, whether it's poke, whether it's brawl. I didn't get too good of a look of the St. John Vianney composition. I feel like they're going with a very similar. I did see the Zarya. I don't think they had pretty much any change up whatsoever. So they should be playing this a little bit similarly to how they did Control, which I would not call a good thing.
Yeah, we are seeing Blue Springs on attack here, so interesting to see what Vianney's going to pull out for defense. I would like to see them playing some poke. We know that poke is really good here on Blizzard World because we've seen Blue Springs be very effective at that. We've also seen some decent dive on both sides from our last match. Both teams running dive on Blizzard World briefly on attack and defense. So we will see what Vianney wants to bring out and play there for it. But yeah, like you said, the Zarya pick isn't going to play into either one of those comps, so going to be interesting which one they're wanting to do there. Yeah, so both of these teams, reminder, first-time appearances at a MOSEF Overwatch State event. So really good job for them, very commendable to make it this far and go through the preliminaries to these finals so handedly and by winning so much. So well done to both those teams. They beat out a lot of returning teams to the Overwatch finals here at OTC. So great job to those teams. Can't commend them enough. And reminder to the other teams that were here, well done. You did great to make it into the top 8, and you guys played great on stage and in your LAN. So great job to see all of you there, too.
Yeah.
And looks like we're ready to jump back into the match. We should probably restart it instead of just unpausing, and we'll move into that and get it going.
Yeah, I was talking with the Vianney coaching staff before this match was able to get started, and I was just told a little bit of the history of Vianney. They have been a part of MOSEF for a long time. And this is their first time here at the finals.
Yeah, both teams first time at the finals, and just well done to each of them, and having a great showing here this evening and throughout all of today, really, with how they've been playing. And you could never tell that it was their first time. So really commendable job to those teams and their coaches at getting here and at performing at the level that they're performing at.
The jitters
approaching the Hearthstone Tavern here on Blizzard World, where the attackers spawn in at. We do see Blue Springs South on attack looking to play that dive that we have seen them pull out before. Leitmotif hasn't been amazing on the Winston. We have seen people counter it pretty well in the past, but we'll see how they go. The biggest thing that Blue Springs South has had going for them is just how well coordinated their team has been with each other. So those coordinated dives to take out targets in the back line is what we expect from them, and we're assuming to see here in this match.
I love the support pick from Vianney as well. The Brigitte getting an appearance. We've not seen too much of it. I think she was played a little bit during either the quarter or the semifinals, but not too much of her has been seen, which I absolutely like. I love those Bash and Brawly support characters.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a Brawly comp here out of Vianney. They want Blue Springs South to come to them, so very much into this counter dive and able to get some stuns onto Blue Springs South when they dive in. So unfortunately, that's not going to stop Vianney's Leitmotif from taking down their healers. Just kidding. The rest of Vianney able to get in and taking out the rest of Blue Springs South there on the attack. So great job, great team wipe for Vianney there.
Yeah, the first fight is theirs very, very easily. I don't believe they dropped even a single player.
Nope.
So you can't really start off a map better than that. They get a team wipe. They do not lose a single player. They keep the ticks of the ults on the other side very, very low.
Well, we see a very quick
37.
composition swap from Blue Springs South. So they knew immediately, Blue Springs knew immediately that they are not going to be able to dive into this composition from Vianney. So great job, Vianney, forcing them to play a comp that they didn't want to here, and making Blue Springs switch comps here so early. So switch to Reinhardt, they switched to Sojourn. Pretty much everybody about this team switched, but this new composition is working out for them with that Reinhardt from Leitmotif. Although he is going to go down here. Nope, his Creon is keeping him up. Not going to go down. This is going to go a fight to Blue Springs South.
And the Reinhardt, the last one left alive, got to get on to the point, and there's simply no chance for that one. It was a very good job by St. John Vianney to make Blue Springs South switch, but at the same time, I love the complete anonymity with the switch from Blue Springs South. They were completely fine with it.
Yeah.
They were pleased with it. They didn't try to force the dive on it. They were like, all right, Vianney is playing Brawl. Let's do it as well.
Yeah, it was truly a great switch from them. They knew that that dive was not going to work into the Zarya, into the Brigitte there, so they said, well, we're not going to be able to do that. And they, didn't want to fight for ults. They didn't want to keep going. It was the mentality of, no, we need to switch comps right now because this one's not going to work. And it paid off for them. One fight, and they got the point. So they are now trying to push that payload about halfway through here. Blizzard does come out from Vianney, and it looks to get a lot there, but no one able to finish anybody. Hill Lewis, in fact, switching it around and getting the Bastion off of Vianney's side. Maywall on Leitmotif, though, is going to take him down. And he wastes the shatter in return.
Yeah, the window looks to be pretty big for Sage Doug. In comes L5. Lewis has no chance to get away from it. And Blue Springs South, they have the first point there. They almost are halfway, a little bit over, rather, to point B.
L5 looking to actually use this Zarya ult instead of accidentally throwing it at nothing. So his team, I'm sure, probably got onto him pretty hard about that, and I'm sure he will never, ever make that mistake again, and he's going to prove that right now when he uses it here in this fight, maybe.
DPS ultimates are active for Blue Springs South, but they avoid using them for now. Pilot Seeker wins out the fight onto the Cassidy. A couple more shots being pummeled at the May.
Oh, a big grab here.
They can't quite get it done. It's a close range fight. Unfortunately, Blue Springs South can't quite get the job done. And St. John Vianney are going to drive that payload back a little bit further.
Yeah, well done on the grab there from L5. Definitely making up for the misuse of the one earlier. Getting 3 members caught in it and taking out Blue Springs fully with that ultimate. So good job to them. Blue Springs, meanwhile, we see rotate up to the top. Vianney did catch that as well. They know they're up there. And they're going to try and take the high ground away and really utilize that to not take any damage while approaching this fight here. We see some, like you said, DPS ultimates online on Blue Springs, so they do have the Deadeye, they do have the Overclock from Sojourn, and hoping to get some use out of those ults.
Hill Lewis raining down some shots from above. Leitmotif gets frozen. That is a massive pick to lose. Creon has one. It's a support for a tank. It's really, really big. Pilot Seeker attempting to take some more shots. Another big one. Nabi has to find a way to get out, and they simply can't quite get away. But Sonic Mojito running in, taking down the Bastion. It's another DPS for DPS trade. Hill Lewis having trouble staying on it. The May has to go into the cryo to stay alive. L5 is the last-ditch effort for St. John Vianney to hold off of this point, and they have to fall back really far with Creon getting the nail in the coffin. This should be an easy ride to point B.
Yeah, we saw Pilot Seeker get another May ult. That was 2 in 3 fights, so really good job there for farming those ults from Pilot Seeker. And Blue Springs South is going to take point B here, so they are hoping to push all the way to the end here with 2.5 minutes left of time on Vianney's defense. Looks like Nabi and Leitmotif pushed up really far there to try and chase some kills, and they did get Apex, so good spawn reset for Blue Springs South there.
L5, of course, leading the charge, but in comes Leitmotif. A fire strike almost lands. That would have been a major blow straight to L5. They're still having a problem with it. A
Big shatter.
Oh my goodness, it's so huge.
And the
It's a
Deadeye.
double Deadeye kill. And Leitmotiv still alive, causing problems. Zarya is the last line of defense. The Mei still alive, but there's nothing they can do without the supports. Down goes Pilot Seeker. L5 has no more chances, and Blue Spring South's gonna push this payload as far as they can. Sojourn has to find a way to get out.
Yeah, Vianney definitely going to have another chance to defend here. Their team is all up other than the Zarya, and she's up as well. So they're going to move in here. We see a couple switches coming out from them, hoping to just get some quick burst damage down on Blue Springs because they just need a reset here. They need a fight win so that they can reset. They do have the beat come out on the Blue Springs side. It's going to be hard for Vianney to get the kills here. They pop the trans. Sage Dog does get a pick onto Leitmotiv. Huge grab, gets another 3, and that's an easy takedown. Blue Spring South is reset here, and Vianney gets another chance to save this thing.
Denying the third point is St. John Vianney. We love to see it. And I cannot believe how they did that. I thought for sure that was going straight into the back pocket of Blue Springs South, but I guess not. They've got 60 seconds to go. This is still a very good position for Blue Springs South to be in, but they got to get a little bit more. They're not quite there yet.
Yeah, L5, no bubbles active right now, and taking a lot of damage and trying to play around the environment here, playing them behind the walls so as they don't go down while they wait for those bubbles to come back online. Great Zarya play coming out from there. They're going to try and take down this Bastion before it gets too much damage going on, but unable to do that. His armor is just too good, so no kills coming through for quite a long team fight here until L5 finally goes down. This could be trouble for Vianney.
It looks like it's going to be. Pilot Seeker tries to do everything they can. Speedy
And they
Penguin
don't
shooting them
touch.
off, and they can't touch the payload. Blue Springs South going to get their third point. Only 21 seconds remaining, though. But with how controlling Blue Springs South has been playing, I have my doubts if Vianney's even going to make it to the second.
Yeah, so Blue Springs, we know what their comp is going to look like. We have seen it multiple times here on Blizzard World. We're going to see them pull out that poke, and they have been dominant with it. They know what they're doing. I would be very surprised if they deviate from this, and the only reason they would is because they know that Vianney knows that they're going to run it. But I think they're going to give it a try and see how well they can hold Vianney to this first point. The high ground there, just too good to really give up and not use. So I think we'll see that coming out from them, and they want to hold Vianney to 1.
It's the Ana, Ashe, and Sigma play. There's no other way that you can play this poke comp. That's the right tank, that's the right DPS, that's the right support. Bastion and Baptiste don't matter. You could flip them out for anyone. You could flip them out for a Cassidy and Lucio. You could flip them out for a Mei and a Zenyatta. But those core 3 is what you need. The other 2 don't necessarily matter. Bastion and Baptiste are really good to have just for any composition, but you could really switch them out for anyone.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want that Baptiste window up here. They put a lot of damage out from the high ground here, but these Baptistes we've seen today have been very quick at building their ultimates. We have seen constant Baptiste windows and a lot of Baptiste play in general today. So reminder that on stream, we can see the outlines of the other team. The teams cannot see that in game. So Blue Springs currently does not know where Vianney is. We know that they're going around to the right here, and they do see them now. They're going to try and hold them here, and a quick pick onto Speedy Pingui there, unfortunately, for Vianney. And I think they're going to just go ahead and take the reset here instead of playing down. They do have a quick spawn, and they're going to just wait for Speedy Pingui to come back.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your Sojourn. And honestly, the way that Blue Springs attack started was a very similar way. They lost their Sojourn first, but rather than falling back and resetting, they tried to push through. Did not work out for them.
Right. And so we see, a great Maywall there, able to go straight to point, Vianney, and they really have just denied everything Blue Springs has set up. So all of that high ground that they were using, all of the positioning that Blue Springs had, Vianney just got away with it and moved straight to point, and they're going to be able to quickly tick this meter up while doing a ton of damage to Blue Springs here. Leitmotiv kept alive by his great supports here, and they do take down L5. So if this still could be anyone's fight here, unsure of what way this is going to go. Looking like it's going to go in Blue Springs' favor, and I say that, and it doesn't.
Yeah, the Mei got there a little bit quicker than anybody was expecting. Speedy Pingui as well, back alive, and all of a sudden the payload comes out, and St. John Vianney has all the time in the world. They got 5 minutes to push it on to the second point.
Yeah, so Vianney pops that payload back out, and they are ready to just take the momentum that they have here and keep pushing. We do see Leitmotiv switch off the Sigma and onto a Reinhardt. wants to play back on that payload, play a little more brawly, get those shatters out and some high-value ultimates in there. And they still keep Nabi on the Ashe. They do switch Sonic over to Lucio here to support the rest of that Brawl. So I think good comp switch from them. They're just not going to be able to set up again the way they were set up at the beginning. But unfortunately, Pilot Seeker gets an early pick on Nabi. We have not seen Nabi playing at the level that they were playing earlier.
Hill Lewis has a bit of high ground, trying to deny St. John Vianney as much as they can, but it looks like they're a little bit quicker. Apex gets dropped on, in comes the artillery strike. It's absolutely beautiful, and it takes down L5. No more tank, no more DPS as well. Speedy Penguin, though, has a double kill in their back pocket before they're finally taken down. It's a 3-for-2. Leitmotif still alive on that point, but they need to get the kill, and they're gonna get it. It's Nabi with the dynamite.
Yeah, a great team fight finish there from Blue Springs. Good idea from Hill Lewis, just dropping down and using the ult on himself because he knows that the St. John Vianney team wants to go and kill him quickly while he's in that form. So they weren't able to get away from that ultimate and the artillery strike, just able to take down L5 quickly. And without the tank, it's just so much easier for your team to fall apart, and they were able to pick up some. Now, great, it was some good return kills from Speedy Penguin, though, with the BAP window. Unfortunately, it was not enough to save the team fight.
St. John Vianney gets a couple of people back on that payload. Creon, though, immediately taking down Zarya, but it's a great Maywall to deny the Reinhardt.
Huge shatter.
But the Earth Shatter is absolutely incredible. Sage Doug is the second to fall to Sage Lewis. Insane play from the Rhine and Bastion.
Yeah, the Maywall truly was really good, but unfortunately that Reinhardt had a shatter, and he was able to hit everybody on the other side of that wall with it. So great play there from Blue Springs South, great counterplay, and great use of that one ultimate. So Blue Springs South has 2 ults online for this next fight. Vianney has 1 at this moment, but looks like they're going to get a grab. A lot of poke coming out from Blue Springs South there. Vianney having to already use some of their good abilities here just to keep themselves alive.
Yeah, you got that Sojourn, which especially if you go overclock to get that railgun, you can really poke these people off. That is what Speedy Penguin is attempting to do. But Blue Springs South, they still have that Ashe. They are the ones that are really trying to poke, but yet again, they're playing that pseudo poke style. They have that Ryan that's still up.
I think we'll
Lucio
see a grab.
is still there as well. Zarya is trying to do as much damage as possible, but Leitmotif and Nabi are simply too good. Gotta watch out for that Zarya ult, though. Never mind! Nabi puts him down.
Yeah, a couple of members of St. John Vianney still alive here, but I don't know if Nabi... Oh, what a headshot.
Oh my goodness, it just gets better and better. That is another team fight dub for Blue Springs South, and the payload goes back even further. St. John Vianney are starting to slip. They really had it going in the first half of the payload stage, but now they are stuck. Blue Springs South switched off of that Sigma onto their Reinhardt, playing that pseudo Brawl style that I really did not like going into this map. I'm a converter. I'm a conversion.
Yeah,
I'm a believer.
So Vianney only got about a minute left to push this payload, and they not only have to get it to this point, they'll get a little bit of time if they get it, but then they have to push it nearly all the way through at the end. And it's going to be a tall, or excuse me, they do have to push it all the way through. It's going to be a tall order for them. Great grab, though, to keep Blue Springs off the point, and they are able to get the point to the checkpoint. That was a great grab from L5 there. Didn't get any kills out of it, but the crowd control on moving Blue Springs South off the point is what gave them that checkpoint.
St. John Vianney still have to push it 110 meters to tie this thing up, and they only have 2 minutes to do so. Blue Springs South has an ultimate at the ready, and honestly, at this point, it's probably the most important. The Earth Shatter is there.
Trying to be
the
sneaky
BAP
with it.
window is available as well. Yeah, we got 2 sneaky breaky-like players in Creon and Leitmotif. I don't know if they're going to check this corner.
That Vianney's going to notice why there's no Reinhardt in front of this team. The longer this is going to take, I think they're going to find something fishy here. Oh, but not soon enough. Leitmotif coming through with that behind-the-back shatter, and only 1 person dropped to it so far. Great Blizzard there coming out from Vianney, and some good counterplay here, not dropping this team fight yet. Pilot Seeker even picking up a kill.
L5, the health gets absolutely drained, and no more Orisa which shout out to the switch. I definitely like that, but this time Blue Spring South's just a little bit better. Apex and Pilot Team are teaming up, getting those frags out. 5-player kill streak now as St. John Vianney absolutely pushed past the Earth Shatter. It was such a good play, but in the end, it doesn't matter. Yeah, the Discord orbs coming from Apex and that key target focusing that we see in these elite teams is really what is saving some of these team fights for the Vianney side. Leitmotif pushed a little bit forward, might be out of position here, but L5 almost going down to Hill Lewis's Bastion turret form. With just the big fight here between Captains Leitmotif and Pilot Seeker. Pilot Seeker just trying to stay alive, try and get this other Blizzard. Blizzard 2 fights in a row is what he's looking for here. Unfortunately, does not get it and goes down. And Blue Spring South going to confirm that fight. And only 30 seconds left for Vianney to push this to the end. No matter what, it's going to be Blue Spring South with the advantage if overtime is come, or rather, if sudden death comes. But honestly, with how Blue Springs has controlled the pace, they might not even need an OT. There's a couple of ults on each side. It's a big Bastion ult. Out goes the artillery strike, but Nabi is pushed all the way back. It is a great artillery strike. It takes down the support. It's a huge Blizzard. Sonic is not good enough. They get frozen, but Pilot Seeker is so low. It is a huge boot away. Apex has one. L5 trying to stay alive. It's a very solid spear, but they're down to 66 HP, and we have officially reached overtime. Crayon, huge kill. L5 goes down. I think Nabi is going to clean it up. Pilot Seeker and Sage Dog, the only ones alive here. Just kidding. Speedy Penguin comes in as Tracer, switching to that really fast hero to make sure they get back to point on time. They need this win, but they're not going to get it. St. John Vianney falling to Blue Springs South. 2 maps in a row. 2-0 Blue Springs. Match point for Blue Springs South. St. John Vianney just went from winning 6 maps in a row to losing 2 in a row. Play of the game goes to Apex yet again, but no dub to make up for it. Yeah, interesting on the Zenyatta play the game twice in a row. That is not something we see every day. A great Transcendence and then following it up with a lot of damage there. So great job from them. We are moving on to Route 66 as our escort map. Now, this is another map like King's Row, where there's a lot of open ground and there's a lot of empty space where we might see some of those really long-range characters coming out. So we might see a Widow here. We might see a Hanzo. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Nabi staying on the Ashe here, where they'll be pretty good. We didn't see a Bob in that last fight. Did I miss the Bob? I don't think so. I know he had ult. I think Ashe used the Bob a little bit before and just didn't pop it on the second time. But enough of the past talk. That's in the past. Let's talk about the near future. It's map 3. Blue Springs is winning by 2. This is for the grand finals of the MOSEF Brawl in Springfield, Missouri. So we might as well go to Route 66, where we're in the heart of. Oh my gosh. Yes. Route 66 here coming out. Excited to see this map, a new one today that we haven't seen yet. I think it's the Busan and Route 66, the only ones in this lineup that we haven't seen today. So yes. Excited to see these. Excited to see the comps that these teams will roll out here. Vianney has to get the reverse sweep here if they want to be the victors of this fall brawl this year. So again, both teams first-time state qualifiers in the Overwatch community league here that we have through MOSEF. Both teams giving a great amount of play, a high-level amount of play. Right now, Blue Springs on top. Blue Springs has been better than St. John Vianney in every single way. I did not expect this coming into it. I expected a 1-1 going into map 3. Maybe St. John Vianney. Honestly, I was a believer in SJV. But now, I have been completely shut out. My mind is just scrambled. Yeah, I definitely. Blue Springs is playing on a level that I would not have expected in 100 years. We've seen them playing great all day. I definitely thought that these were going to be closer matches. Surprised a little bit so far. Hoping that Vianney can really bring their game this time. I know that they have to be locking in here. They know that this is it. This is the one that they have to play the best on at this moment, because if they don't, it's over. So they're going to take it to Blue Springs. I can feel it. I think this is going to be a competitive match here. I sure hope so. Last chance for St. John Vianney to save their lives here at the MOSEF Fall Brawl. They get one more chance, one more L, and they are going home.
Yeah, I hope we get to see the other two maps over on Esperanza again with push, and maybe go into another Ilios. It would be really fun to end on an Ilios control map if we go to 5.
Unbelievable. It has been a long, long day. We've been here for an incredibly long time, running up on that 10-hour mark. But now we could be over in less than 10 minutes. Depending on how competitive these two teams make it, we could be done in an instant.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good match. I imagine both teams going to push the payload quite far, if not to the end. We could see a sudden death. We could see a double sudden death. If they push it quickly enough and are just dominant on attack, we could see this go to 9 points even from these teams. So could be crazy what they are able to do in overtime. I hope that this is a great match for these teams. I hope Vianney really brings their A game and is ready to play and try and save this reverse sweep back from Blue Springs South here.
Yes, the reverse sweep is such a difficult thing to do in every esport. In Rocket League, it's the best of 7 reverse sweep in the grand finals.
Yeah.
In Valorant, you got the best of 3. In Counter-Strike, you got the best of 3. It's so long because you're going to have to go on a win streak of 45 minutes or so.
Absolutely.
That is what makes it so difficult. You have to win for over a half an hour, and that is exactly what St. John Vianney have to do. It's not you'd have to win 3 games. You have to win every game for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, depending on how long they go. We saw how competitive Payload was on Hybrid, so this could easily go to 8.
Yeah. We're going to see how well they do here. I think we're going to see some similar comps to what we just saw in Blizzard World. Definitely, I don't think we'll see the same ones because, like I said, there's a lot more open space here, especially on this first point. Look at all that open air on the point here. So a lot of empty air that we'll see. We could see a Pharah here. We could see the Widow. We see, some different picks here. We see an Ilari from Apex as of right now. They could just be hanging out in spawn as the hero, but could be some different things. We see a typical thing that we've seen from Blue Springs South here. So Hill Lewis on the Sojourn, Naby on the Cassidy, Leitmotif on the Reinhardt. Leitmotif definitely having a good last game on Reinhardt. So not surprised there.
It doesn't matter. Anyone, I would apologize.
I think I like Blue Springs attacking just a little bit more. They've been such a momentum-based team that to start things off on attack is so good. I think this is better for them. St. John Vianney, of course, they were the losing team, so they got to pick which side they started on. But I think this is really going to benefit Blue Springs South. St. John Vianney might have just made a fatal mistake. I'm hoping that they don't. I really want to see games 4 and 5, but I think this is only going to benefit Blue Springs South. Like, I get it, you got that poke comp. Road 66 is a map with a lot of open space and a lot of verticality that you can use on defense to your disposal. But Blue Springs South has been the bread and butter when it comes to pushing that payload. Their brawls have been unbelievable, and the defense really depends on how much offense they get. If they're able to build that momentum on this first attacking spot, then this should be their map.
Yeah, first fight coming out for this team here with Blue Springs on the attack. Looks like they're going to clean up and get a lot of these kills here. Naby just looking to take down the Zarya. The tank, always the hardest one to kill here from these teams. Apex does get a reverse kill onto Leitmotif, though, so Blue Springs losing their tank. Unfortunately, Vianney's just got too few members to fight at this moment, although they are trickling back in.
And L5 immediately taken down by Naby with a kill from Baptiste to the other Baptiste. It ends up in Speedy Pingui taking down Naby, contesting on that payload, but in comes Blue Springs South. They are immediately right back at the cart. The Lucio goes down. The Reinhardt is getting beaten up, beaten into a corner. Pilot Seeker, though, charged into it. Hill Lewis trying to keep their tank alive for as long as possible, but it's starting to get really difficult. That payload's starting to go back. and St. John Vianney have tightened things up in the last 15 seconds.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Vianney went with the Zarya again here on defense. We did not see it work all that well at the start of Blizzard World when they were playing defense. They did play it very effectively on attack on Blizzard World, but it is a very different play style. So interesting to see that from them. I would have expected more of something of a Reinhardt or a dive from them on that, but it is working out enough that they haven't lost point A yet, but this fight does seem to be going completely in Blue Spring South's favor.
Yeah,
especially with Hill Lewis picking up 3 with that ultimate.
The overclock is simply insane. So that's going to be the first point, and we hear the crowd erupt.
Absolutely.
Through the headphones. They're getting crazy. Blue Spring South know exactly what is at stake. With every point they get, that gets them that much closer to a Fall Brawl trophy.
Yeah, Leitmotif, I think, got a little too excited there at that fight. There was only one member left of Vianney, and Leitmotif went ahead and shattered them, and they didn't even hit. So basically a waste of that very crucial resource here. And Blue Spring South coming into this fight minus one of their best ultimates, whereas Vianney has 2 with a 3rd coming online. So we're going to see how this plays out, and if that was a misplay by Leitmotif there. So.
Speedy Penguin has a lot of damage done in turret mode to the Reinhardt Leitmotif. But look at how efficient the push has been. Already, Blue Spring South is over halfway through, nearing up that 2/3 mark, and it's just getting quicker and quicker. Blue Spring South bringing in the Lucio as quick as possible. It is a great charge as well. L5 has to get back from that, and Leitmotif able to get away. But even on these retreats, Blue Spring South still have so much damage done.
Yeah, it was really interesting how that fight ended with only, I think, one member of either team going down in that fight, and they just kind of both backed off. It was a kind of a mutual agreement to quit playing. We do see the Grav come out from Vianney. L5 does go down from it. No picks out of the Grav, whereas Blue Springs is going to get 4, 5 picks here and go ahead and team kill Vianney. So that is going to be a very near close to finishing this section, although I don't think they can push it quite without Vianney being able to contest. So we're going to see if Vianney decides to or not. I think they kind of have to.
I think they do as well. I don't think they can allow Blue Springs to get anything for free.
Yeah, they are on point contesting.
Yeah, with how quickly everything has gone, it has to go immediately. It's a beautiful Earth Shatter. I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, Pilot
Seeker has a double.
Blizzard better than the Earth Shatter there, and just able to get more utility out of that on the point. Unfortunately for Blue Spring South, their push is going to grind to a halt right here once again.
And Pilot Seeker trying to get some chip damage from long range. And that was absolutely the right call from St. John Vianney, attempting to contest off of that second point, as it gives it a little bit more time, where if it comes down to it, they are going to have a bit of an advantage if they're able to really clutch up in that third section. But as for now, the push is coming through. There is the overclock for Hill Lewis if they decide to use it. But at the moment, they are simply just left clicking.
They're on it.
Speaking
We've
of,
seen
out
some
it comes.
devastation from
Leitmotif
Hill Lewis.
Charging up. Hill Lewis gets close, but Sage Gun takes him down. Leitmotif rushing through. It's a beautiful charge. No chance for Sage Dug, and they go down. This should be the second point for Blue Spring South with the kill on the Shady Penguin. That is going to be it. They get an extra minute and a half, and they only have to push it one more section.
Yes, this one very, very close to the Vianney spawn, though. Going to be hard for them to push it all the way with how close the spawn is to the end. We do see some ults coming online for Blue Springs. They're going to have Navy's Deadeye. They're getting close to a Leitmotif. If they can get into another fight, he's going to have it. But Apex has the sound barrier. Pilot Seeker going to quickly get another Blizzard. We see him do it over and over again. And it's going to be interesting how this fight's going to go. It's all going to come down to who can get an early pick without using some of those resources. And we're going to see who's able to do that.
Payload's already halfway gone. Pilot Seeker gets rushed up. Out goes the Deadeye. It's really good. It takes down Doug. It's perfectly timed as the Immortality Shield goes down, but the Blizzard is so good. It's a triple kill from Pilot Seeker as Sojourn has to run away, and it wasn't going to be that easy. We should have known that.
Pilot Seeker so consistent with these Blizzards, getting them nearly every fight. like probably twice every 3 fights we've seen over and over again. Very consistent at just farming those ultimates down, and they are so effective at keeping Blue Springs South from pushing. We do see Leitmotif has the Shatter. It goes straight on to L5 for it. Takes the tank down. L5 does use their ult as well. So we're going to see Leitmotif push in here. Hopefully his team can back him up and keep him supported as they push in and try and secure the rest of these kills.
Under a minute to play, and Leitmotif rushes in. It's a great charge. The hammer starting to swing. Leitmotif takes down Sage Doug with Pilot Seeker left to boot. It's the Deadeye from Speedy Penguin, but is it going to be enough? It doesn't look like it. Down goes Cassidy. Only one more. There's nothing left for St. John Vianney, and this is going to be St. Blues.
Blue Springs South taking it all the way to the end of map 3. A tall order from Vianney to get this done.
3-0. St. John Vianney has got to push it all the way. Best case scenario, they do it with more than 31 seconds to go, but Blue Springs South was incredibly efficient. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Now,
I feel like if they win this out, they're going to have to take it to sudden death, and they're going to have to pull out a crazy overtime miracle.
we saw Vianney push very far on Blizzard World on a hybrid map. So a lot of similar play styles from that to this escort map. Blue Springs South not able to full hold Vianney on Blizzard World, so I wouldn't expect them to do it here. Vianney certainly has a chance to push. Hopefully they can finish it this time. And as you said, Tucker, they want to finish with over 31 seconds, so they have a time advantage on Blue Springs South. They could finish with upwards of minutes if they are efficient enough, but we're going to see how that goes. Leitmotif and the rest of Blue Springs South pulling out that comp that we keep seeing from them over and over again with the Sigma and the Shield up on high ground. The same thing that we've been expecting. Vianney probably expecting it as well. We're going to see what they play into it. Looks like they're playing L5 on the Zarya again. They're actually not changing their comp. I think this is the same comp that they ran on Blizzard World Attack, and it worked for them there roughly, so we're going to see if it works for them here.
The rock gets thrown up right before the walls drop. And here it goes. It's the Brawler style. We have yet another Zenyatta for Zenyatta support. Blue Springs South, of course, still playing with a little bit more of a pokey tank in the Sigma.
Yeah, Sonic Mojito, I think this is the first time we're seeing them on the Zenyatta. I think they want to have it out so they can just continue to melt down L5. Unfortunately, Apex able to take out Creon early here, and that's going to spell trouble for Blue Springs South. It's much longer spawn for them than it is for Vianney. So they're going to have to play back and play a little defensively, let Vianney take a bit of the payload here, and hope that they can win a team fight after their other support comes back. Sonic Mojito went dangerously low from, and Hill Lewis down from a quick headshot from Speedy Penguin. Great opening there again from St. John Vianney.
It's a nice frag to start things off, and it looks like St. John is about to completely take this first point without hardly any contention, as it is only 3 meters away before finally someone from Blue Springs gets on it. L5 trying to stay alive, gets a rock smashed onto them, but Speedy Penguin taking down the Immortality Field. Unfortunately, after that, they can't do much more. Sage Doug going up to the skies, but there's still nothing that they can do. It's Apex to fall, and Sage Doug next to follow.
Yeah, I loved the Sonic Mojito disrespect kick to the face as the Zenyatta melee to take down Speedy Penguin on Sojourn. That is a great clip, and I hope Sonic Mojito keeps that one. But St. John Vianney, unfortunately, not able to finish that one. So close, but Blue Springs South able to come in and get it done on defense. We see some ultimates start to come online. We have a trans for both teams nearly, and we do have almost a overclock for both teams. So they will know, these teams are very good at tracking each other's ultimates. They know what they're going to have. So Speedy Penguin knows that Hill Lewis is almost on their own Sojourn ult on defense here.
Pilot Seeker trying to sneak around, get a bit of damage done. Out goes the window. Speedy Penguin, though, takes a lot of damage, has to fall back. They get a little bit scared. And St. John Vianney are trying to push this through to the first checkpoint. But Blue Springs North doing a very good job of denying them. The balls from Sigma are really, really good. It denies Pilot Seeker the first checkpoint, and they're going to get a little bit more as there goes Sage Doug down.
Only a minute and a half here left for Vianney to come back and take this map for their own. Otherwise, Blue Springs South takes this Fall Brawl final. We have to see Vianney come through and obliterate Blue Springs South on this point and then continue to do that, or they're going to be pressed for time when they finish, if they finish.
And there's 3 ultimates online for Blue Springs South. We cannot forget about that. St. John Vianney might have a little bit more, but when it comes down to these ult fights, it's been Blue Springs that have been the consistent winners. St. John Vianney have had a real struggle.
There early pick on Pilot Seeker.
There we see the Pilot Seeker go down.
And we see Vianney. Vianney's just going to reset from that. They know that without that Mei, they are not going to be able to secure all the kills they need in the amount of time that they have. So they're going to reset and go from about 30 seconds left and push back in with their captain and make sure that they have that to capitalize on. So they do have 4 ults online, all but Sage Doug's window. And Blue Springs only has the 3 damage ones with the tank. So St. John Vianney, if they play smart with these ultimates, they certainly have a chance here. 25 seconds left. They're trying to play to that low ground and keep from getting in the sight. Oh, a huge Sigma ult, though, and 2 already down on the Vianney side. This could be it.
It really could. St. John Vianney, honestly, debating on simply retaking and resetting, but there's not enough time for that. Zenyatta has to be it. They go down. Pilot Seeker is still alive, but eventually they're going to get caught out. It's overtime. Pilot Seeker's down. Blue Springs, they don't quite have it. Light Motif with the rock. Tracer's no more. Sage Doug is all that's left. They have to stay on it. They don't have any more resources. Blue Springs have just won the MOSEF Fall Final.
Wow. We were not expecting this to be a 3 and out from Blue Springs South. We definitely thought St. John Vianney was going to give them a run for their money. Heard such great things from both teams. We're going to watch them play the game here from Pilot Seeker. Of course, it's another one of their Blizzards. They only had about 50, so big surprise that it's one of those. So all the headshots just over and over again. Well done to Pilot Seeker and to all the members of St. John Vianney. They certainly made this a good game, and we were happy to see them in the finals here. Just well done to both teams.
Congratulations to both of these teams for making it to top 8, as well as making it to the Fall Brawl Finals. You cannot forget about that. They made it all the way. Both of these teams are top 2, but the team that deserved to win absolutely got the dub today.
Yes, and we were fortunate enough to get to see Blue Springs' journey here at the Fall Brawl, and we got to watch them through all their matches here on our stream, and just consistent, and it was the same way here in the finals. So well done to them, amazing playing by them, and congrats to the victors, Blue Springs South once again.
Yeah, Blue Springs has been the absolute, I guess, description of what's the word for it?
Consistency?
Consistency, yeah. The absolute description of consistency. When I look in a dictionary, I'm going to pull it up right now. It's just going to be, bam. It's Blue Springs.
Absolutely. And thank you so much to everyone who has tuned into the stream. I'm not sure how long they want us to talk now that we're done, but so make sure that you do keep in touch with MOSEF, because we did not get to finish the consolation side of the tournament. So hoping to finish that at a later date online. So keep in touch with MOSEF's social medias and worry about getting to catch that later. But thank you so much for being patient with us today and sticking through all of our technical difficulties. So and Smash Finals, State Finals, will be next weekend. So make sure we check out that on our social medias as well.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much once again for being here. I've been Michael.
I've been Tucker Haynes. We have been live from Ozarks Technical Community College in Springfield, Missouri. It's been a great venue. Despite the technical issues, it has been a very, very fun day.
Yep.
And Michael, that's all we have for the Fall Brawl at the moment. Go ahead and send us home, why don't you?
Thank you guys so much for coming, and we hope to see you at all future MOSEF events, whether at home or in person. We'll catch you guys there.